Welcome y'all to another episode to the Needs to Be Studied podcast. It's your boy Billy the Bad Guy, and today's gonna be a great SUCIA episode.
Yeah.
We have Luis Cortez from the SUSIA NYC.
Yes, sir.
I said it right?
You said it right. It's Luis. Brooklyn
Luis,
Lou,
sorry.
or AKA Well-Known Tone. I respond to either one. Susia NYC, Susia Plays, Susia Queer, our book club, Susia Read, our Puerto Rican community, Susia Borican.
Ahí, coño.
We growing.
Yes.
We growing.
In this episode, we're going to where your group chat is scared to go. We're going to play parties. We're
Let's
taking
do
a
it.
deep dive.
Yes.
And I'm a big fan of Horrible Decisions. I love Mandy, love Weezy. Great
Thank
friends
you.
with them.
No, these I just side note, there's two podcasters, groups of podcasters who have definitely helped us so much, and that's Horrible Decisions, Good Moms, Bad Choices.
Yes.
What they have done for us is immeasurable, and we're still seeing the results of it. So I want to thank them. Thank you both.
And I always hear about it, and I always say, hey, I want to go there, but I'm so scared. I have so many questions. And
Yeah.
I hear about play parties. I had other guests that told me about play parties. But I always heard yours to be like the premium edition, like the top tier edition.
Oh man, thank you. I would say this. I think what makes ours different from others is that we're super intentional about what we're doing.
Okay.
We're not selling fantasies. We aren't doing some escapism shit. We are very rooted in censoring the joy and pleasure of Black and Indigenous women, Black and Indigenous LGBTQI plus populations. And within that paradigm, we understand that when you walk into our space, we are living in a reality that has turned our bodies into political playgrounds, some more than others. Humans with vulvas, political playgrounds. Our transgender brothers and sisters, definite political playgrounds. And it's important that we are in a space where we can just do that. And a lot of times we don't realize how much time we spend tense because we're so used to it. We have to get used to all the little microaggressions we see on social media, the ups and downs. We have to get used to maybe people in our family not accepting us as we are, still trying to love us, but hiding behind religion, hiding their bigotry behind religion.
Are you know my family? They spoke to you before I came?
Oh man, listen, on my paternal side, Jehovah's Witnesses. My beautiful 20-year-old son's gay. He came out in a flurry of sparkles, and I knew it, and I loved him from day one. My little brother wasn't always my little brother.
Okay.
And I think seeing their journey is really what made Susia NYC what it is right now. We started out as pretty binary.
Okay.
It's like just me and my wife just trying to get our freak on. We nasty. We like fucking, right? And we were trying to figure out an ethical way of doing it.
Okay.
Because I think as people, but I'm dealing with our community, in particular Black men, we've been so hypersexualized that sometimes we believe it. We tend to find pleasure in being sneaky almost. Ooh, I got away with it. Ooh, I got away with it. And we hurt people that way. And we hurt ourselves. So what I was saying about just the journey of Susia NYC going from being something that was a little binary, we started it because we were going to play parties that were aggressively white, where people were aligned with whiteness. And I always want to differentiate the difference between white people and whiteness, okay? Because a lot of us uphold the values of whiteness. We're staunch supporters of whiteness in the way we vote, in the way we live, in the way we purchase, in the way we communicate with people, in the way we hold tight to our bigotries. So when we were at these parties, I'm looking around, I'm like, shit, it's a weird feeling in here. There may be another, I hate to say this, like it happens a lot. I always see like a tragic mulatto somewhere in the mix. It's just like, okay, I don't know what their trauma is. There's issues of being a mixed kid. I get it, but I would see these, particularly brothers at these parties that were mostly white, And I didn't understand what the pressure that I was feeling was, because I was still like, it's still like sensory overload, trying to make sure my lady's okay. Okay, I'm cool. And then when I finally got a little comfortable, I was like, oh shit. Oh, they're projecting onto me. These white women are projecting onto me. Their men are projecting onto me. And I'm like, fuck. I'm a regular nigga. I ain't got no porn dick. This is not like, there's a lot of, I'm like, shit, there's a lot of pressure right now. Like, I'm just trying to enjoy myself and tap into my pleasure.
Right.
But here I am in a space where I have all these expectations projected on me, and I can't even get past that to make sure that I'm okay.
Okay.
And, I'm trying to make sure my lady's okay. So we started SUCIA immediately, man. We were just going into parties, collecting cool people.
Can I ask you what does SUCIA mean? Because
SUCIA means dirty girl.
Okay, because I think I'm Dominican sometimes, and then I'll be telling my employees, "Ay, mira, tú mucho sucio."
Yeah.
So when I hear SUCIA, I'm like, "Sucio, sucia."
Yeah, I chose SUCIA specifically because I remember growing up as a kid, and my tias and my mom would get ready, and they're just playing around with each other. I SUCIA, mírala.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying? She going out in the streets, and it stuck with me because I'm like, wow, you know what? I'm a firm believer in that. The pool of masculinity that we were given has been pissed in. It's polluted, it's dirty. And I've intentionally tried to lean in more into my feminine side as far as receiving and just listening. And when I thought about SUCIA, I was like, yo, this is it right here. And plus, I just like to get a rise out of people sometimes. Especially my Afro Latinos and shit. Like, what's the fuck? And then they get it, they love it, they get it. So SUCIA.
Ay, SUCIA. Okay, so this is a real question for me.
Yeah, what's
what
up?
makes because I be on the Twitter, I see people say, "Oh, come to the play party, $20 at Cash App this," or
$20.
Yeah. Or they'll be like, there's a gay club that has play parties, and be like, just come naked, $20 at the door, and it's just like, I don't really feel like there's no real vetting going on.
No, there isn't.
But and then there's times where I had somebody that I was messing with. He was like, we should host our own sex party, and I was like, I don't want to host a sex party because what if the cops come knocking on my door?
Yeah.
So what makes a play party legal?
Well, there's no exchange of money for liquor in the actual space. So we don't sell liquor in the space. And back to what you're saying about parties that don't vet. This is the thing, right? Because again, we're caught up in this paper race. And I'm gonna keep mentioning this again, is that we're trying to function in a capitalist system that affects our decisions. It affects our decisions to the point that we would put a bunch of humans in a room who are partially nude along with potential predators for a few bucks to put in our pockets, as opposed to taking the time to vet. Now, for a SUCIA party, we charge. We're like, it's $100 to get in, but we do sliding scales for teachers, for social workers, for community activists, for artists, and people will ask for it. Reason we charge so much is that it takes a lot of time and money to do these events. We got to rent the space, we got to get the acts, we got to pay people. And the amount of intention that goes into it, it's really, had I known it was this much work 6 years ago, I probably wouldn't have did it.
Okay.
But I'm in it and I'm committed. And my
There's
wife's
no turning back.
committed. No, there's no turning back. Not
and
at all.
You're well known.
I mean, sometimes I don't realize it, but and honestly, I always want to say I'm just the loudest person in SUCIA. I also understand it's a male privilege thing. I can say the same shit sis is saying, and ain't nobody gonna really listen like that with the intention of like me saying it.
Right.
And it's just another indication of the kind of society we're in. So I'm not saying anything that I haven't heard my sisters tell me.
Okay. Well, also, there's so much I want to tap into with play parties.
Let's do it.
But we like to start the show off with icebreakers, which is called our pop quiz segment.
All right.
Right?
Gotcha.
And this is my favorite question. Wolf, he normally engineers the show. Shout out to Miles, he said today. But he hates this question. And I'm going to give you the example, the background story. The only legal position in Washington, D.C. is missionary, right?
Right.
My favorite position, by the way. However, If you could create a sex law, what would your sex law be?
A sex law. I think my sex law would be for people to be transparent about what they want.
Mm,
It's you have to let me know what it is you want. And from there I can make an informed decision. I want my I'm all about revolutionary post-nut clarity. I want to feel good about what I did,
mhm.
and I want to feel good going into it. So intention and clarity.
I like that because you there's a time where you're dating somebody or in a relationship where you're playing the guessing game.
Yeah.
What do you want? And then I was talking to somebody yesterday, and we were just having a conversation, and I was like, I called him vanilla. I said, "You're vanilla as fuck,"
Hmm.
and he was like, "Well, why you say that?" I'm like, "Because I'm telling you, I have this.
Uh,
Let's try and do this." And he was like, "But why do you have to bring all the extraness into it when I'm just good myself?" And I'm like, no, those are things that's gonna make me go cheat because
yeah.
I wanna explore other things, and I'm letting you know right here.
Uh,
And I think maybe there's other things he wanna try too, but he's afraid that he's gonna be judged. But I've learned so much on this podcast to where it's like there's ways you could bring up
yeah.
stuff. To where like an example where I had a clip where I think I was talking about golden showers, right?
Hmm.
I done it. And I asked the person I'm dating now, like, hey, have you ever experienced golden showers? Look at this clip.
Hmm.
And they was like, "Yeah, I'm not into it." They was like, "What did it happen to you?" And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, it did." But I wish that people could say what they want because I refuse at this big age now to silence my needs
Yeah. Nor should you.
because I want to keep you, but I'm not going to be happy in the long run.
Yeah.
So I already had to tell him like, "You're vanilla as fuck. I need chocolate, strawberry,
Mhm.
butter pecan. I'm not big for nothing. Okay,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
need all the
Yeah.
flavors.
I mean it all.
Yeah, I need it all. You know." So
I think a big part of addressing that, a great way of addressing that would be studying what polyamory is. Because I mean, my wife and I are non-monogamous. We dipped our toes into what we understood at that point to be polyamory. And it took a while to deal with my male ownership issues in that regard. It's one thing like enjoying comparison and like, yeah, I love seeing my wife getting fucked, right? But it's different when I'm not there.
okay,
It's like, oh shit, like what's happening? Um, and that wasn't much. That really wasn't a big hurdle. Um, the big hurdle for me was understanding on a somatic level in my body that I should not be responsible for my wife's every last pleasure, every last laugh, every last joy at all, nor should she be responsible for mine. That's a lot of responsibility.
mm.
My main priority is me, always. And it took a while to get to that place. And not in a selfish way, in a way that I'm making sure I'm good so I could be the best person for everyone in my life. And sometimes that means having a moment with someone.
So when you met your wife, were you open about being interested with other people, or is that something I discovered
Oh no,
today?
I was still one whole leg in my fuckboy years. What? I
What?
was what? And you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's one thing. Like when I talk to brothers, like I let them know, like, look, nigga. And what makes it even worse is I'm a nice guy. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's the
yeah, yeah.
nice guys that fuck shit up. Because if you're an
I know
asshole and a
firsthand.
fuckboy, it's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy to dismiss a person. But if you're a genuinely nice guy and you're trying, but you're still following your dick and shit or your ego. So when I met my wife, we were both coming out of relationships. She had been already divorced. I was on my way to being divorced.
Okay.
Um, I just lacked the courage, the conviction, and the clarity of thought to say, "Hey, I'm gonna end this first," you know?
Mm.
Um, and I still live with that. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Like when I said earlier about hurting yourself by being on some fuckboy shit or just being just that person in the street, I'm serious. It fucks with you.
Mhm. Really?
Especially if you get on the other end and you're like holding yourself accountable. And you're like, damn, that sucks. I hurt people.
how long did it take for you to process that you actually was hurting people?
I'm still processing a lot of it
Wow.
because part of I think as a person, part of our defenses to keep us sane is to like, okay, cool, bit by bit.
So
You know what
did
I'm
you
saying?
not realize in the moment that you was possibly hurting this person, or in the moment did you was like,
It's one thing saying, yeah, this is fucked up. It's another one feeling it in your body.
yeah.
You know
So
what I'm
now I
saying?
gotta ask you, what's your sign? So I can
I'm
understand.
Aquarius.
Fuck nigga.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Fuck nigga.
yeah.
That you are a lying ass fuck nigga.
Aquarius, yo,
Yeah.
man. And it's like just doing the work.
Yeah.
Just doing the work. Like I think I've gotten to a point in my life where, and this is another thing with Susia that's big, and I see my sisters and my queer fam struggle with it. It's owning your pleasure. This system has taken so much from us.
That's the big focus on this show. I
Yeah.
want to help everybody that I could possibly help in
Yeah.
this world help build that pleasure gap.
Yeah.
Whether it's going to a play party, and I'm scared because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
still got questions because I want
Don't
to
worry,
come, but I
I'm
don't know
already
what
gonna
to
comp
do.
you on one. I'm already gonna comp you on one. Pull up,
Oh
see
my-
what it is. I could tell you the flow of this of our party.
All right, no, we got a whole segment for that.
All
We got
right,
a whole
all
segment.
right,
All right.
I'm
Well,
here,
before we get there, let's go down with chemistry class. That's our relationship
Bet.
segment where we talk about relationships, dating. Relationships, dating, marriage, all the good stuff.
Uh-huh.
But the chemistry class this episode is going to be solo versus couples attending play parties. And my question to you is, why do you think more couples are going to parties together and loving it?
I'd like to answer that question in a different way. Because the people who come to SUCIA, about 50% single people.
Okay.
We do have couples come in. I would say the couples that do come into our event understand that it's safe there or safer. There's no 100% safe space,
Mhm.
right? Especially when we're talking about emotional safety and spiritual safety. Like that's never guaranteed, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel I know that my wife and I got into swinger parties because we felt that there was an itch that monogamy was not scratching. That I we kept trying to play the monogamous game.
Okay.
We kept falling into that, you know, that religious thing. And you don't have to be religious to be influenced by religion because we're a Western society and we're based on Christian values. And one of those Christian values is monogamy. So, you know, we got caught up in that game. And for me personally, I felt there had to be a better way without hurting people or myself to explore this. So when I see a couple come in, there's the very basic, the very, I don't want to say basic, the very like ground, like we freaks.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. You trying to come in and do some wild shit? Yes. Do it in a space that's intentional and safe. Welcome to Susia.
You keep saying y'all freaks. What's the freakiest thing you done? Like what you mean you freaks? Because there's freaks where people think the regular person think they freaks, but when
The
you say,
freakiest thing I did was fall in love with myself and fight tooth and nail for my sexual liberation.
that's that.
That's
Those that get it,
some
get it.
freaky shit because what that does, it opens up doors to other things. And I'm taking my time with that shit. I don't know where I'm at yet with certain things, but I'm not in a rush. I'm
Okay.
not being pressured. That to me is some real freaky shit. All right. Because what, like, you know what? Double teaming my wife, having a threesome, whatever.
Yeah.
It's cool. That's cool. And it's,
Right.
you know what? It's cool if that's where you're at. That's totally fine. But for me, it's really about understanding that my sexual liberation means that I am intentionally moving away from this bullshit views of what masculinity is, okay? And not being ashamed of me loving sex.
So what do you think people have, or what do you think is people's biggest misunderstanding about sexual liberation?
That it's easy. That it's sustainable outside of community.
Mm.
All right, because we're fed this rugged individualism thing, right? And that starts the sneakiness, that starts the hiding, that starts the thing. All right. And I think sexual liberation is healing. It's healing. It's actual, like, oh shit, like I'm seeing life different when you think about consent and you apply it outside of a play space to your
Mm,
daily life
mm.
with your children, with your people, with people you meet. It's healing, you know? So I think that it's sustainable in community, outside of community. I wouldn't know. I ain't trying to do that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Fuck that.
Right.
Yeah.
So back to like the couples, like, all right, so you and your wife,
Yeah.
y'all tried the monogamy thing. It wasn't for you. I personally don't think I could do poly.
Yeah.
But there's times where I think I might want to, and I don't know, like, because I'm really jealous. I'm a Virgo,
Yeah.
so
Oh,
there's times where I might want to incorporate somebody in the bedroom, but there are times where I probably don't want to incorporate somebody in the bedroom, you know. But what are the biggest differences you see between people who attend solo versus people who attend as a couple?
And how they move in the space?
Yes.
All right. You have the couples that come in where the dude really thinks his wife don't want no other dick.
Mm.
You
The
know who
Lulu.
you are. You know who you are. You be coming to the spot and telling me to my face, yo, my shorty only fucks with shorties. You know what I'm saying? And then the conversation I have with her is a little different. Or the conversation my wife or another community member has with her is a little different. All right. And as men, we use shame to keep our women in check in spaces like this. There's the couple where I kind of fall in, where like I'm into compersion. I love seeing my wife be pleasured.
Mm.
And even around that, the first time I saw that shit, I'm like, yo, I'm killing everybody in this room. Everyone's dying, but
Really?
finish. Yeah. I was like, but no, not finish. I want to see
What
this
was
shit.
it for you? Did she moan a certain way that you didn't hit? Because that's gonna be
You
it
know
for
what?
me.
It's just new dick in my pussy. It was
Right.
very when I really sat and thought about it and did the work and sat and I was like, yo, that's what it was. Because
Did y'all go home and talk about it?
yeah, no, we talked about it. And honestly, like I was feeling those emotions, but it wasn't like it wasn't that loud for me.
Mm.
You know? I was committed to it. And honestly, seeing my wife be pleasured overrode whatever little caveman shit was happening in the back of my head.
Mm.
Um, and also, honestly, I learned to fuck her better. Like I'd watch, I'm like, what just happened right there? Or if she's with a woman, I'm like, what did you do that caused that? Like, I'm gonna add it to my repertoire.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
this isn't about competition. This isn't like I'm with her for the rest of my life.
Mm.
Like we are a unit, you know? So based on that alone, ain't no one gonna do what I do to her. And I'm not trying to compete with no one.
Okay.
You know, and even sometimes I still may want to like, oh word, I was dope, watch this.
Right.
But you know,
So there are times where you still may get a little jealous.
fuck yeah, some fucking monster dick niggas walks. I was just like, oh my God. But at that point, it's like, yo, it's cool, man. Enjoy it.
Right.
Have fun.
What boundaries do you and your wife create?
Between us, definitely we use contraceptives with other people. It's an important thing. We used to be kind of like, you know, we went on separate dates.
Mhm.
And the boundaries that made me feel comfortable for the first few times, like, all right, just be home at a certain time, don't spend the night.
Okay.
You know, I want to hear about it, you know. And then I lean back on that because she's gets a little shy about talking about what she did, and partially because she doesn't want to feel like I'm judging her. Like
Okay.
this is all like societal shit, like just
Okay.
like and it pops up, you know. So
Are you guys allowed to try other new kinks that y'all never tried with someone else for the first
I would
time?
let her. Yeah. I know my wife likes that dom energy sometimes.
Okay.
And I'm working through that because, you know, I was raised by a strong Mexican woman. And she was like, "You ever fucking put your hands on a woman?" And sometimes it
Yeah,
pops in my head. I'm like,
yeah. No, that's real.
nah. So I'm just kind of like, you know, and I don't have to be the person that does that.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no, if you find someone who could provide that for you, cool.
Cool.
I'm not like, you know,
Okay.
it's just the whole jealousy thing. It takes a lot of energy, and it just takes a lot of like I'm limiting myself and my wife to so many dope experiences if I let my jealousy
Mm,
be a thing, you know. And it took a while, like, you know, didn't happen till I was in my mid-30s, where I was like, okay, cool. Anytime beyond that, I wouldn't recommend allowing me to into any of those spaces.
okay. Yeah, now personally, I just had this conversation yesterday.
Mhm,
So I was telling an ex of mine because he still's like, I was like, "Can you watch me fuck somebody else?"
mhm,
He said, "No." I said, "You know what? I can't watch you fuck someone else,
mhm.
but I would love to fuck
But you
somebody
look
in front of you." You feel me? But there's other exes that I've had or other people I messed with that I wouldn't mind watching them fuck somebody.
Yeah, yeah.
Like there was one time where I had an ex where he didn't he didn't have his own place at the time. He lived with his family, but he needed his dick sucked.
Mhm,
I said, "Yo, just in my living room.
yeah,
Only thing I want to know, only thing I want to do is I just want to watch you."
yeah.
And then that opened the doors for us to start having threesomes with people. But my rule with threesomes are, well, not even my rule. What I always said, that's going to lead them to like linking behind your back.
Mhm.
And that's exactly what happened because we had a threesome. I brought the guy in and they started linking behind my back. Were we together? No, but it was just like, bro, you kind of broke the rules that we had.
Well, let's think about it. I think intention is super important. When my wife and I decided to see other people as our relationship, we had dinner with the person. We sat down and spoke about the rules with her potential partner, with my potential partner. You know, intention's important. That's what I'm saying. It's like don't don't let's see what happens. Fuck
Okay.
that. Fuck that. Let's see what happens. It's gonna fuck people up.
I believe that.
You know,
I believe that.
let's go with the flow. Like,
So, who do you think has a better time at the play party? Is it singles or their partners?
um, different answers for that. I've seen sisters come in by themselves. I've seen sisters weep at parties because they feel free,
Mm,
and I can imagine that is so much more liberating than a nut, right? That's
mhm.
some impactful shit. It's life changing. I've seen couples come in and have wonderful experiences with other people. I've seen couples come in and then only one of them comes back like a year later because it just didn't work out. So I don't think the issue it's an array. It's an array of experiences. It's just like I think it's important to really ask yourself if you're coming by yourself, what do you want from this? What do you and it's okay not to know,
Yeah.
but make the attempt. With your partner, and sometimes people come in as just buddies, partnered up,
Mhm.
you know? Um,
It's so hard for me to find a partner. I'm scared to go by myself
come by yourself. Why?
because it's just like
What do you think's gonna what do you think's gonna happen when you walk in the door?
I don't know. Well, I have really bad anxiety.
Yeah.
Well, and I just don't know. Like I'm gonna walk through the door. I'm gonna be by myself, just observing, and I just don't know. I never been. I don't know. I'm expecting the unexpected.
I can tell you that walking into our space, you will feel safer than you have at any other party you've been to,
Okay.
off the bat, because everyone in there is on the same page about bodily autonomy, about consent,
Okay.
about who we center. Um, and people are really approachable. It's super I'm telling you, it's like all the pretense is taken out. All that, "Oh, you come here all" I'm like, "Shut up, nigga. Get the fuck out of here."
Okay.
You know why we're here?
Let's get
We
to
we
this.
we're here because we wanna be in an erotic space, so not about getting into it. It's about first being in an erotic space and understanding the power of that, being in community and
Mm.
understanding the power of that. And then from there, a lot of things are possible.
I could see me being a voyeur at one time,
Mm-hmm.
but I do say, like, there's a craving that I tend to get to where I wanna suck penis.
Yeah.
I love sucking dick.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, if I don't wanna accidentally slip and do it my first day. I really wanna go as a voyeur the first
Well,
day.
that's about intention.
Okay.
So with intention, if you're going by yourself, you ask yourself, like, what is it that I want to experience there? What am I into? Then from there, you tap into your body and give yourself consent to trust yourself
Mm.
to make the right decision and be in the space. And then you give the space itself, I consent to be in this space and to be in community because I feel safe. And then from there, everyone's gonna ask you, whoever wants to talk to you, hey, do you mind if I talk to you? Is it okay if I sit next to you? You know, I know we're handsy when we talk,
Mhm.
right? Is that, do you mind if I touch you or if I touch your knee while I talk to you? And you have every right to say no. We actually encourage people to say no the first time.
Alright, wait, wait, you do?
Hell yeah.
Why?
Number one, culturally speaking, Black folks, we ain't really raised to say no. Caribbean folks, we aren't raised to say no.
Okay,
We aren't even offered the opportunity to say no in society a lot of times.
that part.
So say no.
We have a whole a section on consent. I'm gonna go right there right
Yeah,
now.
so let's do it.
So it's called this is our extracurricular activity where we talk about sex, but
Mhm.
this whole episode is obviously sex. So, I want to know? Do you know what a key party is?
A key party when they put the keys in the fishbowl and shit?
Yes. So
Yeah.
for the listeners that don't
Sounds like
know,
some stupid
it's
white
the
shit I saw in
19
movies. Like, what the fuck is that?
yes, in 1970s. Imagine this: you're in the 1970s. You're in the suburbs.
Mhm.
The neighbors invite you to a house party.
Mhm.
There are music, cocktails, and a big bowl near the door. Men drop their car keys in it, and at the end of the night, women draw a random set of keys, and that's who they go home with.
Gotcha.
These parties are very real. They were a mid-century American way for couples to explore swinging and non-monogamy. But it wasn't always as sexy as it sounds. In the 60s and 70s, the 60s and 70s challenged traditional marriages and sexuality. Couples wanted to experiment, often driven by men, sold as fun for everyone. But consent dynamics were very blurry at the time.
Yes.
These parties were booze heavy, which complicated true consent and created messy moments. Many women reported feeling pressure into participating to save face or please their husbands. Some party led to unexpected divorces. A random key drawing exposed deep relationship issues.
So let me reword that. 1960s, homogenous America, middle America, copy paste, cookie cutter, frail, middle-aged white man ego, upholding white supremacy, repressed white woman, number 2 in the hierarchy,
Mhm.
probably hasn't had many orgasms in her life. The power dynamic isn't the man having the keys, put it in there. The woman has to pick a keys and it's fucked up. You draw some ugly motherfucker,
Mm.
some fat nasty fuck, some abusive motherfucker, you gotta deal
Yes.
with that shit. That is, I think, a very much an indication of where we were. I don't even say we, because I don't know if niggas is doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Some
Right.
real shit. It's like,
Right.
you know, so no, this is what I'm saying, and that's insane. I couldn't imagine on some real shit. I want my woman to fuck someone she thinks is hot.
That part. Not just a random.
Nah,
To
you
like
think you
pick
think
the
you
keys
think
out the
you think
bowl.
this human is hot?
So wait, do y'all play any games like this? Kinda? No? Hell no.
Oh, that shit. No. What we do is we encourage people to negotiate.
Negotiate. Okay.
Negotiate. Hey, sit down with someone. How you doing? Let's talk. Let me see where your head is at. This is what I like. These are my boundaries. You know, don't introduce nothing new in the middle of sex because it's subspace. People are more likely to say yes to things that they normally wouldn't say yes to when they're mid-stroke.
Right.
And then they end up feeling shitty about it afterwards.
So this led me also about consent. And I want to know, what does enthusiastic consent sound like, and what are some examples of it when it's missing?
All right. I think enthusiastic consent can sound different based on the person. We have neurodivergent populations that'll come in sometimes, and their enthusiastic yes is a yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Explain
I
neurodivergent
said
because I
yes.
heard the word, but
I use it as it's a very broad term.
Mhm,
We have some folks who are somewhere on the autism scale, some folks just somewhere they process information differently, they show emotions differently.
mm,
So instead of like, yeah, theirs is like, yeah. So ask another question,
okay.
and allow them to explain it to you. Body language is a big thing. If someone's like, yeah, I'm always like, take that as a no. Take
Okay.
that as a no. If they really want it, they'll let you know. They'll come up to you, you know? Um, Enthusiastic consent. And I do have an issue with that term because of that.
Mhm.
But I understand why it's used and why it's important. Essentially, if it's not a fuck yes, it's a fuck no.
Okay.
Like, excuse me, miss, would you mind if me and my homeboy here fuck you? And she's like, fuck yeah. Oh, okay, cool. If she's like, ooh, oh, let me get you some water. Think about it.
Okay.
We can be walking around. If something you want to do, come get us. Um, I try to add nuance to it because there's a
Mhm.
lot of nuance,
Right.
you know.
No, which is important, and you think of consent of thinking of somebody saying yes or no, but I never thought to take into consideration of reading somebody's body language or neurodivergent. It's like,
Communication is way more body language than what we're saying.
mhm,
Um, and again, like you have the fries format, freely given. Fucking, I forgot. I should know this. Freely given, reversible, intentional, enthusiastic, and anyway. There are a lot of models for that, and the more I'm in community, the more I'm understanding that consent is still evolving for a lot of people. Um, and when I say evolving, I mean what I just said earlier about, what enthusiastic consent means.
mhm.
Like, some people don't express emotionally on their face.
So is there a time where, like, hypothetically, let's say someone gave me consent to give them head, right?
Mhm.
But then, or I gave somebody consent to give me head, but then they want to do penetration. Do I have to have a second type of consent, like give them?
That should be not discussed while your dick is in his mouth.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
it's like, well, okay.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And I was like, you got me. That's
Right.
sneaky. That's very fucking sneaky.
Right.
Um, I think particularly as men, we're so we're like gotta get this done.
Right.
Gotta might lose opportunity. Like, slow down, talk,
Okay.
negotiate, negotiate. In negotiations, you talk about STD, STI status. Okay, have a very real conversation around that. Um, like I'm all about negotiations, and the more I delve into it, the more I'm like, yeah, cool, because it doesn't have to happen at that moment. Maybe at the next time I see you.
Was there a time where you ever had to pull back your consent from someone?
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt. That's the thing about it. Like I'm a lot of folks think that I'm hard on dudes, which I am.
Mhm.
But in the parties, some of the major consent violators, just based on what consent is and what we establish, are women.
Uh-huh.
Um, and there are a lot of reasons behind that. The main thing being for me is that male toxicity is not exclusive to men.
Okay.
Okay, it's just toxicity. Um, and people are just handsy, and we do check sisters. Well, hey, ask, and they get it. It's all like they get it. They get it. Now, the biggest consent violators that we've had to check, and I think it's because again we are drawing from a fucked up pool of masculinity
Mm-hmm.
are our tougher sisters, you know, where it's just like ass slapping and shit. Oh, we free to do shit. It's like, no, it's the same
No,
thing.
not
You're doing the same exact thing that the patriarchy wants you to do, which is dominate.
okay.
Okay. And you're pulling from that source, you know, and it's like, nah, leave that shit alone. Ask before you touch.
So, are there times where alcohol could blur the lines? It's never okay. I understand
Oh,
that.
we let people know immediately, like make sure your relationship with sobriety is pretty close.
Okay.
Um, and understand a community also polices itself too. So at any time, there's multiple eyes
Watching.
watching, just making sure. That's it.
Okay.
Making sure. Um, we definitely cut people off. We don't allow people in the space who are visibly drunk. Like, hey, next time, um,
Mm,
we'll even get you a cab home. Boom, go. It's more important that you get home safe.
okay.
Just as important to us as not allowing you in the space where you can harm somebody. Um, we do allow smoking in there. You know, folks might be doing shrooms and shit because we're adults.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I'm not here to hold hands. I'm not here to try to limit someone's experience. The fact that you're in the space lets us know that you're doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
That alone, like you're in here, and yeah, we're BIPOC centered, right? Without a doubt. But if you see a white person in the space, no, that person, that white boy right there, this white girl right here, they're down for us, and not just on some
Mm.
fucking. You know, they get it. They're
You get it.
co-conspirators. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, so yeah, you know, like, and a lot of it we're figuring it out, and I don't know it all. I'm always willing to be checked on things I said. I'm always, you know, willing to learn. That's the whole thing about it. Like there isn't. I think what we're doing is SUCIA. Um, and I don't say it in an arrogant way, but we're so far ahead of the curve that we're figuring shit out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but we have a wealth of resource to draw from. We have, you know, all of our the shoulders that we stand on of these queer humans before us who fucking laid it down, who wrote about it, Auntie Hooks, you
Yeah.
know, people of that level, they let us know.
So we're gonna go to our needs to be studied, and
Let's go.
that's where we study the main topic of the relation of the episode, and it's gonna be play parties for first timers,
All
right?
right.
The beginner guides. Now I'm gonna close my eyes, and I need you to paint a set of Susia for me when I walk through the door. What my experience?
Are you gonna close your eyes?
Yes.
I mean,
Miles, close your eyes too.
all right, so you're in your body right now and you're a little nervous and you're like, holy shit, yo, I'm really here. Wow, it's beautiful in here. The lights, the people seem really happy. All right, I'm still a little tense. I'm being checked in, and this awesome person at the door is letting me know the rules of this place. All right. Damn, I smell some weed smoke. I want to smoke, but I'm gonna wait a little bit. I don't want to get too anxious. All right, so now they let me in, and I'm walking by a really dope spread of fruit and charcuterie. Damn, these niggas is bougie, but I like it. Let me get a little salami and some grapes. All right, I got my little plate. I'm gonna walk into the room itself right now. It's like, oh my God, look at all this, the textures. So much texture, so many colors. Yo, that DJ's killing it. Damn, I feel sexy. Is someone getting a massage? There's a massage station. Oh shit. What's that crackling? That crackling noise is electro play. Someone's getting electro play in the corner? That's fucking amazing. Uh-oh, someone's being tied up over here. Magnificent. All right. These motherfuckers wasn't lying when they told me Susie has the shit. All right. Oh wait, the music stopped. What's happening? Ah, the consent speech. Boom. Consent speech is done now. I feel comfortable. I feel like I belong here. I feel like this is my right. I don't have to earn pleasure. I don't have to work for it. I do have to be ethical. I do have to be transparent as I know how to. Shit, the DJ's rocking right now. We're dancing. We're having, oh my God, I'm having so much fun. There are naked people dancing next to me and no one is being nasty. One side of the wall is all mirrors and couches. The other side of the wall is a bunch of beds. Looks like some people are playing. That's awesome. Right on. Queer sex is beautiful. Everyone looks really happy. What's that up there? Oh, that's a loft above me? Oh shit, let me go upstairs. Cool little couches, people are talking. Look over the edge and I have a bird's eye view of the whole place. Damn, Susia is dope. It's like tropical soul up in this bitch right now. You know what? He did say, try saying no. He did encourage me to say no. And someone wants to do something and we're talking about it. But I think I'm gonna hold out because I want to really enjoy this and I want to feel good about it tomorrow. There you go. That's a little snippet.
I just walked.
You got paid for the rest,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
No, that was first of all, I've done a lot of episodes.
Mhm.
That was the first time I ever did something like that, and I think that's so dope. That was so much fun just now.
Oh man, thank you.
And like, oh my God, I was there. I was vibing with the DJ.
Yeah.
So when I hear play parties, or if I see people have play parties, the little ratchet ones,
Yeah.
they'll say, "Oh, I gotta take your clothes at the door."
Yeah, nah, we don't do that. I am so wholly against that. That is not consensual.
Okay.
Not you can stay fully dressed if you want.
Really, I thought I had to come in there bucket
Nah, man.
naked.
Nah, man. Nah, stay fully dressed if you want. I mean, just
Wow.
don't pull up in some dingy basketball shorts and a
no.
fucking
So I could wear this?
yeah. Why not?
I thought I had to be bucket naked.
No, not at all. Not at all. I don't I think any party that asks that, and I've been to parties like that,
Mm-hmm.
and it's for the woman to get naked.
Okay.
It's my experiences. And again, I feel like it's a very penis-centered experience in terms of they're catering to men's egos. When men pay more than women, you create expectations. All right. I've been in parties where women get in for free, men pay $100, and I've heard niggas say, like, yo, I better get some pussy. I pay $100. Like, that's the expectation that you're setting.
Okay.
Okay, so we don't do gender-based pricing. And some people get upset about that. I don't know. Go somewhere else would let you in for free, sis. I don't know. Depends how you want to be treated, right?
Right. You pay for what you get.
Yeah, you don't want no one holding shit over your head in a space
Yes.
like that. This is your power. This is your space. You are the most important person in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And the person next to you should be the most important, and on and on and on.
Mm-hmm. So before we even get to the party, we have to do the vetting process.
Yeah.
What's the vetting process?
Vetting process. It's pretty simple, but it's not. We have on IG SUCIA NYC, SUCIA NYC. In the link in the bio, there's a vetting form.
You asked me, what was the last book I read?
Yeah.
And I don't know, but the last book I read is about to be No Holds Barred by Mandy and Weezy.
There you go. That get in.
Okay.
The reason we ask about books and just we want to know if niggas could hold conversations. Like, what's up? Like we're in an intentional space. Listen, man. Part of my consent speech is letting people know this space is a space that is about the liberation of Black and brown people worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and if we are definitely pro-Black, all right, but if your vision of pro-Black doesn't include queer people, then it's trash, plain and simple. That's the kind of vibe that's in there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like we have a Che Guevara poster up and shit. I mean, we still keep it like sexy and shit, but no, this is a very revolutionary space. What we're doing is very revolutionary.
It sounds so dope.
We're creating pockets of resistance. Owning our pleasure is revolutionary as fuck. For a black woman to say, this is my pussy, I decide who goes in it, you better fucking give me your nut or do your best possible, the best way you can, or hold me after, or treat me like I want to be treated. If I want to be choked, you choke me respectfully. If I want to be disrespected, you disrespect me respectfully, if that makes sense. So yeah, you're coming in the spot. Like, you know what it is.
So what are the top 3 mistakes beginners make at a play party?
Touching without asking. And like I said, we're not like fanatics about it. Like, we know you spent your whole life being touched and touching people without asking. You don't just switch that off.
Yeah.
There's got to be some kind of grace for that. And people are pretty gracious, especially like our day ones or people who've been down for a few years. We'll talk. I'm like, hey, I saw that person. Like, believe me, I'm looking. Like, I love kicking people out. Like,
really
makes it safer. And just because I kick someone out doesn't mean they can't come back and say, hey, you know what? You're overstimulated right now.
Okay.
I see you're trying, but it's tough. It's tough, right? Yes, it is. So you need a little more time. Come to some workshops. Come to a meetup. It's not.
So when you're there, are you working or do you play too while you're working?
I've worked really hard on decentering my dick as a point of pleasure.
Okay.
Partly because I'm demisexual. I like connections.
This show has to end and I have so much more to ask you. Like,
yeah.
What is a demisexual?
I like connections. I like meaningful connections. And I'm not saying that a physical connection isn't meaningful, but like, I'm that dude that's going to talk to you, ask you about your fears and all that shit. I want to connect.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I could fuck someone I don't know, but it's not very typical for me to do that. So in decentering my dick as a point of pleasure, I tend to like sensory play. My kink is making safe spaces. My kink is facilitating other people to have an experience with pleasure that they may have not had before. My kink is seeing my sisters and my queer family feeling happy and safe.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are some absolute do's and don'ts for first-timers attending a party?
Don't get fucked up.
Okay.
Do see the lay of the land. Observe. Don't come in with expectations outside of being safe.
Okay.
And do bring an open mind.
And my last question is, how much, if any, should a first-timer participate in playing their first time, or is it okay just to observe? So I think I'm gonna go just observe. I can't.
It's okay to observe. Different strokes for different folks. Understand that whatever you do, you got to be in your body the next day.
Yeah.
Right. So you want to be able to be cool about it. We're wrapping up. I want to give a big shout. I want quick shout outs. All right. I want to shout out. We have a 3-city party coming up on June 28th. When is this film dropping?
Probably July.
Okay.
You want me to come out earlier?
Please.
Okay, I got
Before the 28th, that would be awesome.
I got you.
June 28th, we're in New York City, Atlanta, Philly, day parties. All of our parties right now are going to be day parties. It falls in line with the healing modality. You shouldn't have to sacrifice sleep to get some medicine. I want to give a big shout out to Eli the Naked Trumpeter, Tayomi. I want to give a big shout out to Ted and Honey, Flower. I want to give a big shout out to my wife, Morgana, who makes so much shit possible. The dope DJs that we rock with. I want to give a big shout out to Parnia. I want to give a big shout out to Lachelle, our bartender, super dope. I just want to give, I'm running out of names. I'm just, Swiss cheese brains, but if I ain't shout you out, I love you. Don't forget. Next time I'm here, I'll remember to shout you out. All right.
And where they gonna
Susia NYC.
Susia NYC, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
I'm coming to the party.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna come back and talk about it.
Let's do it.
Oh my gosh. And thank you guys for tuning into another great episode of the Needs to Be Studied podcast. We had so many more questions. We couldn't get to it, but he's gonna come back.
Yeah.
And
it'll be the post-party breakdown.
Oh my gosh, so much to share.
The download.
Yes. Thank you, y'all.
Yeah.